Here's a new project for me. It's my latest acquisition. This is a Model 40B Victor movie projector, sound movie projector. They call it an animatograph projector, Victor. I bought this just a few days ago from a local seller at I think a pretty decent price. And I'm going to restore it to working condition. Now it's pretty dirty. It's been in a basement probably for many years. Actually, to my knowledge from the seller, his basement was the second basement it came out of. He got it out of a basement perhaps some years ago. Was going to do something with it, never did. I don't know, but he told me that it was in a basement when he got it. So this has spent a lot of years down in a somewhat damp basement, and it's very aromatic. I got to tell you, the musty smell on it is pretty strong. I'm used to that, being that I'm a junk collector, and I've collected many things similar to this that were kept in a basement for a long time and came out smelling like it lived in a basement. And that's the case with this movie projector. I really like movie projectors. I had one years ago with a nice collection of films I had with it. I had some feature-length movies in 16mm sound, and a lot of TV shows from the 50s in 16mm. For reasons I won't explain, I sold the whole thing at a loss, and the reasons that I did that were not, when I think back, were not very good reasons. But I regretted it ever since. So here we are, I'm starting up again, and I'm going to probably pick up a few films for this to test it. I'm going to restore this thing. That's what I'm going to do with it, is restore it. It's all there. I got all the paperwork with it. I believe it was originally purchased from Zahn's department store in Racine, Wisconsin. And I got all the instructions, the threading instructions, even the schematic is in here. It has a complement of, I think, 4 tubes, and I don't know if the light will allow this, but the tubes are down in here, and this thing here on the end of it where my fingers point, appears to be a ballast. I don't know why there would be a ballast in it. I got to look at the schematic. I'm not going to pull the tubes out because this tube in particular is loose in its base. And so I'm going to wait until I take this thing apart before I deal with those tubes. It's very dirty. It's very musty. And what I've been doing is using a dry rag on it to get the surface must off of it. And then I'm going to show you what am I going to do to restore it. Well, I'm not going to, this is leatherette, I guess you would call it. It's made to look like leather, but it's a cloth that has like a sort of a vinyl material on top that's sort of looks like leather, but it's not leather. Let me show you something over here. This is the cover from the top that goes on the top of it. This cover goes over this area here. The real arms and that get packed into the projector, so it turns into a fairly heavy little suitcase. And let me tell you, this thing, I don't know how much it weighs, but it's got to be more than 50 pounds because I carry 50-pound bags of horse feed, and this thing feels like it's more like 80 pounds. It's really heavy. Here's the top, and you'll notice how nice and shiny this looks. Well, how I cleaned it was I used a combination of simple green, a little bit of Lysol to try to kill the mildew. I cleaned it thoroughly with a toothbrush, getting a toothbrush down in all the little grooves, the little wrinkles. And when I was satisfied that it was thoroughly cleaned, I used brown shoe polish on it, because the color is brown. It's not black, it's brown. Here it looks like it's black, but it's so filthy dirty that you can't really tell. But look at how nice that came out. Now I'm going to paint these corners right here. The rivets that hold these in, those are the rivets that have the twisted spline-like nails to them. So when they pound these in, they twist in and they're not going to come out real easy. So I'm going to try to mask it as tight as I can and just clean those up and spray them with black enamel without removing them from the case, because this is a vintage machine. It's not an antique. A lot of people call stuff like this, it was made in 1946, so it's 78 years old. It's 1 year older than I am. I'm 77, and this is 78 years old. So a lot of people make the mistake, and they call these things antiques, but in the antique world, a real antique has to be 100 years old or better. And I do have some antiques. I have a few antique radios that are officially antiques because they're made in 1925 or earlier. This is vintage, just like me. I'm vintage. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all of the case the way I did this side, clean it up real good, get the must off of it as good as I can. I'll take the works out of the case, I'll remove everything, I'll rebuild the amplifier, recap it, do whatever it needs. I have no idea if the projection bulb is good. That's like I don't know, 1,000-watt light bulb in there. I can't remember. My old projector had a like 1,000-watt, I think it was. And then there's a bulb in here that's called the exciter lamp. I think it's a 6-volt bulb. I'm not really sure. That might be what the ballast is for, but I can't say for sure. If that's burned out, I don't know if I can ever find a replacement for it. There's a V-belt in this thing. I saw that on the video that I watched. Another guy had one that he restored that's in here, a V-belt. I'm assuming the V-belt is good, but there's a nice video on how to replace it if I have to get one. What else? Here is the speaker cabinet. And the same thing, it's very filthy from years being in a basement. It's all dirty and musty, and the inside smells moldy. Here's the speaker cable, and the speaker cable is in remarkable good flexible condition. The only thing that's wrong with it is it's got mildew on it. So I have to somehow clean off that mildew. I don't want to use a chemical on it because I don't know how that'll work with the rubber. But there's not a crack or a split or anything in that cable. Is absolutely usable. And so is the line cord that is used to power it. Same condition. The line cord that plugs into it, rubber line cord, it's in perfectly fine condition, usable condition. So this is going to be a start on it. I'm going to diddle with a little bit. Here is the this roller right here has a flywheel on it. I'm pretty sure it does. It should have. And that's what keeps the film moving over the sound detector, the optical sound detector, at a smooth, easy speed. It's not frozen up, but it's very gummed up. I should be able to twirl this thing and it'll spin for a long time because of the flywheel that's in. There should be a flywheel inside the case. But there's oiling ports, several of them. I'll put fresh oil in. I have a choice of Hammond organ oil or sewing machine oil. I'm not sure which one I'll use. Maybe the sewing machine oil on it is I think I'll use. the first step is just to make sure I could get some of those parts freed up enough to where I'm sure they're going to work. Then I'm going to take it all apart. I'm going to clean up the case as good as I can. I'm not going to recover it. It's old. It's vintage. It needs to look old and vintage, just like it were an antique. So there is my Victor 40B projector animatograph. I'll get some films from eBay, I think. And this will be a fun project. I'm kind of glad I got this because I really felt bad that many years ago I sold my projector with all those films. So I'll be making more videos of this as the project goes along. But I've got some things to do yet on this video that I'm going to see if I can get a few things done on it with oil and stuff, just to see if I could free up the flywheel especially. And like I say, I believe this was purchased in 1946 from Zahn's department store in Racine, Wisconsin. So I have all of the mechanism out of the case. There is the power amplifier. Look at that giant transformer. Oh my! No wonder this thing was so heavy. And what I thought was a ballast, this is not. This is just a shielded tube. There's a vacuum tube in there. In this, I gotta get my camera right, holding it and not looking at the viewfinder. But anyways, this is a tube. It's not a ballast. I couldn't figure out why would they have a ballast on this thing. So basically, there's 5 tubes involved. The rectifier. These are 6L6s. Get my camera right here. It's a push-pull circuit. You know, that's really very, very good. Push-pull. Down in there it looks a little bit dark and dirty. I'm hoping that there's no open chokes or transformers in it. Chances are they're good, but then again, who knows? And here is the mechanism. These 2 wheels right here. Let me get my pointer stick here. These wheels are flywheels. They're the wheels that keep the film rolling smoothly over the sound mechanism, the exciter bulb, and the photocell, so that the audio is even. These gears here are fiber, and from what I can see, they're all good. There's no damage. Certainly does need to be cleaned and lubed up. This capacitor down here, I'm thinking it's on the motor circuit, but I don't think it's really a motor run capacitor. I think it's more or less in there to filter out that the motor noise doesn't get into the audio, but I could be wrong on that front. That could be a motor run capacitor. I'll have to see what value it is, see if it needs to be replaced. It may. The motor itself, it doesn't turn very freely, so things need to be lubed. I need to be careful that I don't strip anything, especially in those fiber gears. This is going to take a while. So I think at this point I'm going to wrap up this first video. I've got a lot of work to do here before I'll ever get this thing running to be able to actually run a movie through it. I'm almost looking at this and thinking, wow, what did did I bite off more than I can chew? I don't know. We'll find out. That's it for now. That's all.